Let's continue. Shopping has become more than a need. For increasing numbers of people today, it has become the chief form of entertainment, an obsessive compulsion they have little control over, and very often an end in itself. In a recent survey conducted in the United States, it was discovered that most Americans spend roughly half their leisure time watching television, and the other half? No marks for guessing. At the shopping malls, of course, the connection between the two activities is self evident. Television commercials provide the theory which can be acted upon in the shopping malls. Until a decade or two ago, we Indians were relatively unaffected by all these. Not any longer. Trendy, brightly lit shopping centers overflowing with all kinds of goods and baubles have sprouted up all over the country, even in the smaller towns. The key word now is choice. At last, say thrilled shoppers, we are beginning to get the kind of choice that people in the West have enjoyed for a long time. Nevertheless, fascinating with choice can be carried out to ridiculous lengths. A young man, after his first visit to United States, once described to me his eyes popping out in admiration and wonder that in America they have 83 different flavors of ice cream to choose from. He was longing for something like that to happen in India. It looks like as if his dream has come today. At least for the upper middle classes in India, the high consumption lifestyles for their first world counterparts is now well within reach. And they take it like ducks to water. Luxury houses bursting at the seams with every unimaginable material blessing are no longer rarities. For everyone whose definitions of the good life are premised upon the abundance of material possessions, the times have never been better. Now the author is also trying to tell that India is no, you know, innocent country from this. We Indians have also fallen into this trap. Nowadays, you see, after the globalization impact in our country in the year 1991, you can clearly see that most of the foreign funded companies are coming and opening branches in our country, and our upper middle class people are also so excited. Wow. So many shops, ice creams, cars, televisions, smart TVs, smartphones. It has become a market, with full of products whether we need or not. Now the upper middle class people, they are going and just buying these things out of attraction because kuch naya hota hai, they start buying it. Something is new, something is first time, love at first sight as William Shakespeare says. So love for the product at first sight, these people start buying them. By the way, all this money, where is it going? The rupee that we pay to the foreign funded companies, that get converted to dollar or yen or ruble, and it goes to the country. Thereby we are paying 80 rupees for $1 of profit for the Americans. So you can see that the Indians have become nowadays so a big prey to this consumerist culture that is being an excessive compulsion on the consumers. By the way, we have to pray to God that our Indian economy has not become an economy built upon loan. But if we continue to keep buying the products like this, which are needed or not needed, then we may have to become like US. We may have to build up our economy on loan. That is a fragile economy. It can burst out anytime, provided that we stop buying the goods. Let's say even one person in America said, no, for me it's enough. I don't want to buy anymore. You see the impact that it hits on the American economy. Literally, the economy will collapse. You may say, sitting in India, you may be thinking like this. No, friends. You go to that country and see, you will observe everything, whatever I've told. It's an economy built upon all. Every day you find a person going and just buying things. They will buy stocks together even if they don't need. That is what the writer is telling here, it is a tragedy happening in almost the countries that are highly dependent on the Western civilized countries. Okay, so called Western. The deep irony, then, is that while pockets of private prosperity are growing, there is an inexplorable impoverishment of the resources that belong to the public need. This consumerist culture has ended up filling the pockets of the private landlords, and it has sucked away the money from the public sector. Now, many government companies are running in losses. They are not able to meet the requirements of the salaries to the people to buy the raw materials. Where are they having money? They are not. The government is increasing tax year by year because it has to fund these companies apart from welfare of the society. So you can see, because of the consumerist culture, our public sector or government sector has become heavily burdened, friends. It is really hard to recover. This is thus an amazing variety of sleek new car models to choose from, but the roads in our cities are in pretty bad shape and getting worse. Now, every youth who is growing up wants to tell, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car. Okay, you bought a car. But what is the shape of the road on which you're driving the car? Bad shape, right? Every day you have a news that somebody fell in the pothole, somebody died, somebody got hurt, somebody got accident. Why? The shape of the roads in our country are not in a good shape. Due to this, what is happening? Car companies are getting funded, but you keeping the car, you're keeping it like an egg in the house. You cannot use it because the car that you bought from a foreign brand is not suitable for the Indian roads. Fashionable luxury resorts for the affluent are coming up everywhere, but lung spaces for public use parks and playgrounds are shrinking. The writer is studying an ironical situation that is happening in our society. Resorts are available, parties are available, restaurants are available. Chinese restaurants are using AI in our country. That level we have gone, paying that much of money. But green parks, availability of trees has shrunk very high. Due to this reason, if you see the ozone layer of our earth, it is completely becoming thin. Recently an ozone hole was found in Antarctica. Why was this happening? Because of the consumerist unwanted consuming that is happening in our country. And when you just question it or object it, people say, where? Why are you objecting? You people are very pessimistic. You don't like consumption. You don't like development. Is this a way to do development? Cutting the trees, not allowing good ventilation in the cities. People are now suffering for oxygen. Delhi is becoming very polluted. People are suffering out of lung cancer. This is called development. I don't think so. It is much the same story with many other services in the public domain, including transportation, healthcare, libraries, and education. The trend is to push even of the most essential services into the private realm so that some company or other can make a profit out of them. In the process, the poor are being pushed into becoming consumers of increasingly expensive goods and utilities. This is what I was telling in the previous video. The banks are becoming companies that are forcing the consumption over the poor Negro Americans. Yes. Many people I have seen, they buy a very costly product and they end up paying EMI higher than their salary. This is the problem of the consumerist culture. If we don't pay proper attention to government facilities, if we don't pay proper attention to the importance of eco-friendly usage of products, friends, we are going to mess up. We are going to just be cursed by the future generations. They be cursed us, saying that, why didn't our ancestors look after this properly? We are having something today because our ancestors preserved it, not that they were fools. Having this on our mind, let us preserve things, let us reduce the consumption of products. Even if we are to consume, let us think and consume. Ending this, I would like to say stay happy, stay healthy, think before consuming. Jai Shri Krishna.